Get mantra and meditation MP3s at JasonGallant.ca. When my spiritual journey first began, one thing that I grossly underestimated was that my experience of this moment was purely subjective. Now, I know most of you be saying, well, that's obvious because, people have different points of view, right? Different point of view, it's all about subjectivity, based on a person's experience, and they have a different opinion, right? But the part of that I underestimated was that the entire field of experience of all sensation was also subjective. So the way the wind is touching me right now, I have a different experience of this than when my spiritual journey began a long time ago. Whereas back then I assumed, hey, everybody has similar experiences. So therefore, if somebody takes a different form of action, that is just stupid or intelligent, right? So my point about this is that there are levels of your subjectivity that you believe that are negotiable. Just take that in for a moment. Just take that in. Every single experience you're having right now can shift or change, evolve, or just purely be different. And that is regardless of anything on the outside changing. Everything can be exactly the same, but your experience of it can shift. And this can be quite a physical experience, not just a mental. I know we're in the mental age right now where everybody thinks they can mentalize everything. I think this, therefore it must be true, right? They're still in the first level of point of view. And that point of view is based on sensations, which they also believe to be true, which are also not true. They're not absolutely unyielding or the truth, as we say. As you embark upon the spiritual journey, what you're doing is you're unraveling levels of this subjectivity to find out what is the ultimate objectivity. That's what we call the truth, the ultimate experience of the omniscient. The beautiful thing about this, when you really embrace what I'm saying, is that no matter what experience comes to you, no matter how tough it is, no matter how challenging it is, especially when it's just a mental or emotional experience that really has not a lot of justification. When you look at it, you're like, well, yeah, I guess I shouldn't be dramatizing so much, right? You never believe these dramas quite so seriously ever again once you fully embrace this law of subjectivity. This came to me one time. I remember I came home from a job I was doing that I was pretty bored with. It wasn't a job that I enjoyed. But because of so much chanting of mantra and so much meditation and so much fire breath, I was having an extreme experience of this job. And when I walked in the door, Aratima talked to me and she said, I can see in your energetic field. I never said a word. She just said, I could see in your energetic field that you look like you're going to die from boredom. It is a very extreme experience. And I said, how did you know that? It's exactly what I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing such an extreme of boredom that I've never seen this before. It's like a new phenomenon, right? And so I sat in a chair, just like I'm doing right now, and I looked at this experience of boredom. And all of a sudden, as my awareness turned to it, I didn't put a story on it. I didn't say, oh, because of this job, that's why the boredom's there. I just watched it for a moment. It transformed into an experience of freedom and peace, and not a thing, not one variable in that room changed as I went through that. And that was a very powerful experience for me, because I realized that external condition has nothing to do with the way that you're experiencing this moment. So often people come to gurus or spiritual teachers and they say, I want this to change in my life. I want this person to like me. I want that thing to happen. I want, all of these things. And yes, all of those things can influence your experience of life. But if you really want to make a ever-changing shift, a permanent shift in how you experience all things, that's when you go inward. That's when you apply your spiritual practice and be open to the fact that your experience can change even just the tiniest bit. And like I said, for you stubborn people out there, right? Because I understand stubbornness more than all of you, okay? I have like a 10th degree black belt in stubbornness. I understand what stubbornness is. So I'm going to tell you, you don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to tell your friends, your family, anybody that you're wrong about your experience. You can still, put forth a good front there. But when nobody's looking, just admit to yourself, just the tiniest bit, that there's a possibility of this experience in this moment shifting. Maybe it's not going to be the heavenly light or angels and butterflies and all that, but there is a chance that the extreme amount of suffering you're having in this moment can just shift a little bit. And if that can happen, anything can happen. It's so powerful when you realize that the way you've been experiencing life can change. And yes, it can take time of unraveling the complicated, dramatic story. I mean, a lot of you probably haven't read long scriptured books, or maybe books like The Lord of the Rings. Oh, that's too long, or War and Peace. Those books are too long for me to read. But the book you've written on yourself, it probably could fill a whole library, right? And you have to unravel that story. Just let it go. Let go of all the simple little justifications you have around, I'm experiencing this moment and I'm suffering, but I'm justified in suffering. If you're suffering, then there's a good chance that there's a story you're holding on to a bit too tightly. Now, if you say to me, hey, Jason, I've let go of the story, and I'm still feeling bad, I'm saying, okay, good. Now you're doing the real work. You can feel sadness, you can feel depression, you can feel these things stronger than you've ever felt them before, but they will not be permanent, and that is the secret. Like I said before, like water over a stone, as you are just with these things, they transform through your willingness to be intimate, to be here, to allow the experience to evolve you rather than you try to evolve it. That's another secret tip. I want you to remember that. Allow the experience to evolve you, to become one with you, rather than you try to go to it and change it. That's where people get trapped. They get trapped in the ego because the ego is all about me controlling. I want this to be this way or that way, right? But what I'm saying is just being with naturally evolves your experience, and being open to the experience, being able to shift and change, allows your allowing. You see? It enables you to allow, to have faith, to open towards. Because the reason people don't allow is because they're so afraid that it won't shift. They're so afraid of their experience at this moment, it won't shift no matter what they do, so they must change it. And I'm saying no. This experience is not what you think it is. It never is. You are like the ocean, resisting the rain, right? The rain has no power over you, so don't resist, just allow. So don't lose the faith. Realize that how you experience life, even right now, as evolved as you may be, can evolve again, can grow deeper, can become even greater in mystical experiences. And this knowingness will be like armor when you face the darkness. The night isn't so scary when you know the day is coming. So I hope this helps you on your spiritual journey. Take care for now. Are you interested in working with a spiritual teacher in a formal setting? Well, perhaps the Wisdom Life School is for you. If you're interested in checking out what the Wisdom Life School is all about, just go to aratima.com.